Okay. Sure.
Yeah. So yesterday we talked about need, and there are several things like if honesty, fair, a need or not. And yesterday evening, my husband asked one of my daughters to clean the dish, and mm, and she said, "Why not my younger sister clean it?" Yesterday, I
Yeah.
support her to clean it, and then when she cleaned, she cried, and I went to her, and she said, "I need fair." So yesterday we talked about fair, and then the fair
Justice, yeah.
came, yeah, yesterday evening. So I
It
hugged
is fair.
her. Yeah, and so yesterday I hugged her and let her calm down a little bit, and then I check with her. You want some rest? You need some uh, support? And she said yes. And when she said fair during her clean the dish, the energy is was like she was a lot of angry and also a lot of um, sadness in her. And then later on, when I checked with her about rest, about support, her energy was quite tender, calm. So I thought about the different energy, and I had a conclusion for myself, and this is also what I'd like to check with you. I thought if the energy was like to judge others was not peaceful, it was still a judge. It's not need.
Judgment, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
What do you think?
judgment more than.
Yeah.
Yeah, judgment is always uncomfortable, I think, because
Mm.
because the real energy that moves us is always love, and anything else always has some mix up, in the sense of it is not. There is something. There could be some unmet needs there.
Mm.
Because as Marshall says, every judgment is a tragic expression of an unmet need, no?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So I
when
think. Mhm.
yeah, when they
Yeah.
say that it's not fair, and there's a judgment, and then judgment is, of course, there's a need for her own. Basically, in her case, it's a need for respect, and that acknowledge that she has done it, but she has acknowledging what she has done yesterday, I think. And so that's what. So judgment is always there is an unmet need there.
Mm. Yeah. And yeah, I find out when she said fair, she has anger and she has judgment uh, behind it, because she said, "Why not she that does it? Why it's still me?" So
Yeah, what she meant is, I watched yesterday,
Yeah.
And she did not wash yesterday, so why not she wash today?
Yeah.
Basically, so in other words, what she's saying is, why didn't you acknowledge what I did yesterday? So your approach is very useful and helpful, because you immediately asked her what her need was, connecting to her need. And there was a need, of course, for her to basically, it's not that fairness, but it is actually an unmet need there that, I would like to acknowledgement, respect, acknowledgement of what I did, you see.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So talking about fair, it also happens in the society a lot. Yeah. So like yesterday I saw a news. One there was a big chain restaurants. They have maybe hundreds or thousands of restaurants in China, and they have let me check the name of it. So they have a trademark. They registered their trademark, and then there was a couple who just had started a restaurant, and they use the same pronunciation but different character. And for that character, actually, these chain restaurants already registered it as a trademark.
Yeah.
Yes, and the small restaurant owner cried in front of the camera, and then the audiences and a lot of people said that trademark owner bullied this small restaurant, and even though that big restaurants chain, they have the trademark, and they have to say sorry, apologize, because otherwise the audiences will not go to their restaurants anymore, and they will lose a lot of money, even though they are the owner of the trademark. Yeah. And then so this couple of the small restaurant, they don't need to pay them or don't need to change their name, and they keep keep the trademark. And that big restaurants, the chain restaurants, they give this couple their trademark. And then the couple had another new video and said something like they won or something like that. And then there are audiences, they started to say that we help you because you are poor. And so don't have the image of you win something or you are the winner. We support you because you are poor and we wanted to support you. If you showed the face of winner, and why do we support you? Something like that. So the fair is like before the fair the fair to the audiences is to this young couple, because the chain restaurants are huge, they are big, the audiences think they power over to this couple. And now the couple won, and the audiences think, you see, you are the winner, and you don't show that face, and you just started to work to your utility.
Summer, could I pause for a minute, take the call from Ramanusha? Just 1 minute.
Yes.
Hello, yes, Ramanusha. Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, we mentioned this couple, mentioned that big restaurants. So you see, who is power over whom? Where is the fair? You know, the fair is in whose hand? So to me, from this, what happened, I don't think fair is a need.
No, it's not a need. It's a judgment that really it's a tragic expression of a need.
Yeah.
You know, in that
Yeah.
sense, there is a need behind everything. You know, there is always a need behind everything. So
Yeah. So the
that's
fair
why
is still.
fair and also even justice. I don't know. You know, because sometimes we say just and unjust, but those also. You see, the main, the only need for me is love, and whatever need that you're talking about, it has to be connected with love. So otherwise now if you go with justice and fairness, then of course you have this, sometimes people were talking about a just war, which is, there is no just war at all. There is no justice. War is always it's like a judgment, you see. Then now if someone attacks you, you have to defend yourself, yes, but then but as we see, for instance, in Israel's case, the defense, they go attacking and killing so many people. So when do you find justice, and when do you find, you see? So that's why even the DEI and all is in some ways connected to these things, you see.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's not about words. It's about how people see it and use it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I remembered you told a story about a trader that who sleep under a tree. How to call it? The plum. Yeah. Why the small grass on the earth can grow the big plum, and that big tree only have a small fruit.
Small fruits.
Yeah, I remember the story you told. Yeah, and then the fruit from the tree
Fell on his
just
head.
falling down to his face,
And
and
when he woke up, then
yeah. Yeah. So if it's justice, in the big tree should have a big fruit, and the small grass should have a small fruit. Yeah. So it's he would die, right?
there are many calls coming. Just 1 minute. Hello, Leonard. Okay. Sorry, Summer.
No problem. And I'd like to share with you another topic, Father. This morning, after I sent my kids to school, I walked back on the wall beside the street, and I saw, people walking, almost running, and the cars was there, and the bicycles, electronic bicycles, and the buildings are with different colors. the big boards, different colors, and this and that. No matter the objectives are moving or just standing there, I feel so much stimuluses coming into me, uh, and I feel very painful, very much painful inside. Um, I don't know what happened, why this morning was so sensitive to all the stimuluses. And and then I try to standing there and try to feel myself. I try to ask myself coming back to peace, even though I'm in the stimuluses all around me. And I find out the world is really a chaos to me at those moments. Yeah, and and the pain is so huge. I never feel this level of pain before when chaos are around. So I'd like to check with you, did you experience this? And I cannot figure out why this pain is so huge.
Were there some judgments from or you were connecting to something that?
No, there's not judgments. It's just to see I can see the anxiety, see the rush and the stress of all these kind of thing, no matter it's human beings or all the things made by human beings, the cars, the buildings and everything. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think those things are made from love from that moment. Yeah, I feel those things are made from greedy or from kind of yes.
The energy that maybe created them, they were not peaceful in the sense of they were always competitive, no?
Yeah.
So yeah, probably I suppose whatever that is created carries the energy that really. So yeah, that's true. And also you could feel a rhythm anyway. There is always a rhythm that could be, it also depends. But how does it relate to your own energy level and where you are at? Yeah.
It's kind of like the how I can explain let me check the word. The energy frequency is different. Yeah, the energy frequency is different. Yeah. This is really it's not the first time, but this time is much deep and somehow I feel I flow on in the air at that time. Yeah, it's hard to describe. Yeah, I flow in the air and see the chaos and I try to um, clean and also calm down inside. and also accept what was there. And I feel so painful, and also feel the compassion that how human beings can really come to that level. Don't fight or don't try to get the resources only for themselves, and try to really care about others, care about even the earth, even everything. I don't know. I just come to a very different place this morning. It's so painful. I even cannot hold it anymore. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, so maybe it's connect to the topic of acceptance.
Yeah. In that sense, world could be in any state. I mean, because sort of everything affects you, because whatever that you see has an effect on you. And so in my case, for instance, I went to the hospital and was, blessing a woman who was dying, actually, there. And the daughter was there, and it sort of those scenes because what you say, for instance, it looks also unfair, for instance, to see this young lady who came and then worked hard and made a life, and then suddenly she was struck by cancer. And she spends a lot of money and had surgery, and everything was okay, and then suddenly it comes back, and suddenly in a short time she was sort of in a deathbed. So it is sort of so for me, the scenes like that, it really touches you. It's sort of it's a bit of a suffering, because we partake in all these sufferings. And yeah, actually, especially when we are looking for peace, when everyone is hurrying about, ignoring everything else, So those, but I think it's also eventually goes to where you are. How do you live with all this? How do you accept these kind of situations? And because there is a lot of injustice, and there is lots of greed, and things that people do without thinking. So as you said, the acceptance is a very serious part. But then how do you accept? How do you come to accept all these things?
What does it mean, acceptance, Father, to your definition?
Acceptance is acceptance, be at peace with what is. Not trying to change anything that is, in the sense of allowing things as they are. So, for instance, acceptance of a person will be you would like that person to be this way and that way, but instead that you accept the person as they are. not adding your own demands or your own requirements for acceptance. Simply, so be at peace with what is. That does not mean that you you don't suffer. When I know when there is suffering, that has a vibration. No? There is a vibration that touches you also. Then you also automatically drawn into that suffering.
Yeah.
So although they say that this war is happening far away, right? Even the wars are still going on in Ukraine and Middle East. And they may be, I mean, we don't know what really happening, but still there's so much of suffering that is very, very, you can't hide these things. And there is a wave that goes connecting us, and with all the sufferings of the people, there is no escaping it.
So how we can make change? We accept and doesn't mean we don't make change, as I understand. Yeah.
Where you can do the change when you are in harmony with nature. You see, because I mean, when you are really surrendered yourself to be part of nature, right, then you can move. The change that you want is in harmony with the nature, then of course you can do it. Without it, if it comes from an energy of the ego, then of course it doesn't really help. It brings the effects of that energy. If there is an energy of love, that, so for instance, giving is good and receiving is also good, but then when you receive something, you want people to, in in India and Sri Lanka, in these Asian countries, I think they always have to give with the right hand, you see. Then only they will receive. Because if you give with your left hand, they may not receive. Because it's kind of the energy that you are giving really from your heart, whatever you are giving. So if you are in harmony with nature, then of course change is possible. That you can do whatever the change you bring will also from a divine energy.
It is very touching to me, what you said, and yes, I can feel it. So the change is not based on the one ego try to change another ego. Yeah, it's about we invite the divine energy in, and the divine energy can change the ego. Maybe it's a love, or
Sama, could I pause just for another minute, because someone is at the door ringing the bell. I'm the only one here. I will just go and come.
Yeah, so for acceptance and Just now you said accept it as it is.
As it is, yeah.
Yeah, so there would be some questions coming, like for a stealer who steal things. I don't judge them a stealer. I mean, someone took something away from the owner of this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we accept this, or like you see the child fell down and you don't help him or her to stand? So what is acceptance?
Well, that's a natural thing to do. For instance, when a child falls down, it's a natural automatic reaction is to take care of the child that is hurt. No? So in the question of the if someone steals, then again it's a question of what can you do? It's a sense, normally if you know who took it or something, then you will connect with that person and find out what happened, you know. So everything is an opportunity to connect and to be able to, because you don't know it, when you say that someone stole, then there is no peace, you know. That's a famous Buddhist, you know, from Dhammapada. There is a beautiful verse about if you think that someone has beaten you, someone has wronged you, or someone has stolen from you, you will never have peace if you think these things. But for those who do not have these thoughts, they will have peace. So in that sense, there is no question. Even to think that someone has stolen is sort of not a peaceful way to be. Right? So it's a question of accepting things as they are, you know, in the sense, not in the sense of in NVC, it's a question of connecting, you know, any thing that you are unhappy with or that you really not aware of why. So it's a question of opportunity to connect and you know, so there is. So acceptance doesn't mean that you allow people to come and steal everything from your place, you know. But what you will do is, of course, if someone comes to this, then you'll have to see if there is something that you can connect with them and see what their need. If they are dying, for, you know, and of thirst, and they want some drink from you, from the tap, you'll have to allow them to do that, you know. So it's a question of without any to be, again, in NVC, it's a question of you'd always connect to the need, you know. What is the need that forces them to do what they do? That's why there is no blaming of anyone for anything, you see. That's why, for instance, the very principle of NVC is whatever you do is always to fulfill a need. You know, fulfill and need is always part of your natural being.
So I can call it empathy.
Yeah, it's basically connect with love, you know, with compassion is what you do in every case.
So accept the things had happened, no judgment to what happened, but connected to the present moment to see what's the need. And then based on the need, what to do to fulfill the need or better fulfill the need. So is this how it works?
So in other words, so in what Jesus says is if someone wants to take away your shirt or your cloak, then you also give your shirt, it says, no. Someone slaps you on the right cheek, you turn the left cheek, you know. So in that sense, it's a question of not resisting these things, but really be open to all of it. Just like the Rumi's poem about, you know, the guest house, you know, where anyone who comes, even if they come to steal, you don't, you welcome them, you know. So it's a completely new paradigm. So you can't go with thinking, rationalizing all of these stuff.
And usually in daily life, if a person would treat the world or treat others in this way, other people may think this person is very weak. He doesn't dare to fight for herself, for himself, or he is a coward. So yeah.
That's true in the sense of when you really connect with the person, connecting to another person is not really weakness in the sense of so because sometimes, you know, I have met beggars who will ask, and sometimes I give what I have, and they will. One of the beggars I remember took, I need only this much, and you know, takes a part of the money and then gives back the other, saying, it's a question of
And
so
saying,
I
sorry, it stuck. And saying what?
no, once a beggar was asking for money. So I had some money and I gave it to that beggar. And then he saw that money and then he said, he took part of that money and then he gave back the other one, I need only this much. And went away, you know. So it's sort of not to judge people in that sense, you know, even if a beggar, they could be just, they are, and if you have money, of course, that is basically for me, nothing belongs to you actually, you know, in one sense. Nothing really belongs to you.
Nothing really belongs to you. Can you say more about this?
So in other words, that comes true when you have a total surrender, in the sense of you really are open to life, in the sense of you are willing to use whatever that comes in the way that need to be used. Right? So I mean, even if you have plenty of money, it does not mean that you have to spend it on yourself, just for your family or something, Then you will also use it according to your need, if you really have a sense of openness to life. Because we are not alone, no? We are all there is a brotherhood deep down. So when you accept that, then of course it makes sense.
Mm. Mm.
So that is why I think, most of the traditions of the spiritual path, the poverty becomes a standard thing, Poverty means that you don't own anything, that you are open to use the things as they are gifts, as they are given to you, to use it for your needs. And
Mm-hmm. Mm. I find out it's very difficult to have the sense of the resources are enough for make a living, or just live in the flow, and once you need, God will support you to have the money or this and that. It's very hard to live in this belief.
state, yeah.
Yes. So usually there's a kind of fear or scarcity.
Scarcity, yeah. Mhm.
Yes, yes. And yeah, I found out when I was in my 20s, actually I live a life as you said, abundance.
Simple.
Yes, very simple. Yeah, very simple life. And I found out that the money would come to me when I really need it.
Need it, yeah.
Yeah. But later on, when I start to have a family, have kids, it's very hard to keep that simple life anymore. And also, I
Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
and also I see that I connect money to kind of dignity. There are some comparison as well. I compare the life to some students of mine who have much money, that they can took their kids here and there. They buy all kinds of things as they like, wear expensive clothes. Yeah, so I want some dignity. I hope I can be seen, and they can I can be listened about NVC, or about the truth. And also the safety was there. If there were no money, where is the safety for the kids or for the family? Yeah.
Yeah.
So life become complicated then.
It is complex, yes. It's not a
Yes.
simple solution, but you still have the, so for instance, you still have to guide your children, just as you need to guide yourself to really to be aware of the needs of others also, in the sense of, and I mean, even just bringing up children, you need to help them to become aware of you see, I know some parents, they take, very wealthy parents, they take their children to poor villages and things, and to really see what the life of other children over there, and that opens up their heart also to, that's something that learning had to be there. So I think, so I mean, main teaching that you want to share with your children is the compassion in connection to the environment, the people that they live with, they play with. So that is what is more essential than anything else. That does not mean that you have to be like the poor people in the sense, but you still are open to be, aware of the suffering, because suffering, if someone suffers, it doesn't mean that you are independent of it, you are also part of the same suffering. As Marshall says, as long as there is one person who is hungry, that he cannot be fully satisfied. So, because in the sense of openness to the community and the life and things like that.
Yeah, so sometimes it's very hard to, there are a lot of self-judgment.
Yeah.
It's very hard to self-acceptance.
Actually, that is the most difficult part, acceptance of oneself, and that is the foundation for everything else. Most of the problems of living comes from lack of acceptance of oneself, one's weaknesses or strengths. To accept oneself as we are is the first foundation, first step.
Can you say more about the foundation of everything, and maybe how to do it, or yeah.
Self-acceptance, that is. So, as long as you don't accept yourself as you are, there will always there is if you don't accept yourself, that means also that you don't know yourself, because you don't accept yourself as you are. Maybe you want yourself to be in so and so, and you want to have such and such an image. That is not you. The more you know yourself, the more you accept yourself, also more you know yourself. As much as you are able to accept yourself, That is how much you know of yourself. So that is self-knowledge is is part of self-acceptance. So otherwise, most of the time, we have the ego, which is not the true self. This is what you would like, what your ego would like to be. This is the ego energy is there. And that ego energy becomes real divine energy when, of course, you have the full acceptance of yourself. And
This
though
is
that is, that's the most difficult part of actually.
Yeah. This is a new thing to me. Self-acceptance is self-knowledge. Know yourself.
Yeah.
Are there any exercise or can you give an example first and then maybe an exercise you can tell me?
Yeah. So now there is what we call humility. That's a word which we don't use very much, but that is important. Humility means not that you humble yourself. Actually, humility is to know yourself as you are, not knowing yourself as what you imagine yourself to be, but what you truly you are. So in that sense of humility is truth is humility, truth, and self-knowledge. So this is a practice very much in spiritual life, for instance. That is a very important part of how do you practice humility. Humility does not mean that you have to show yourself as humble, but actually humility is to be yourself in some other way. We say that very often in modern term. We say be yourself means be as natural, as accepting, and as you are, not pretending anything else. So so most of our fears, for instance, comes from this for instance, the fear of speaking in public, for instance, is also part of the and what you call shame and things like that. That you are not able to accept yourself, for instance. So the practice I know it's too difficult to understand, but at the same time, if you say ask for what practice could you take up, I don't know what practice. I mean, they will say, for instance, knowing oneself is not too much different from, being in the present moment, What do you call that? So,
So could I say, if we do self-empathy in NVC, it could support us to know ourselves, or do the
self-empathy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that is being compassionate to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Self-acceptance is know yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this brings a question of who am I? It's not ego. So who am I?
That question that Ramana Maharshi always said about the famous saint Ramana Maharshi. His teaching is that he says, "Who am I?" That is the question that you need to ask, in the sense of not just asking a question, but knowing yourself. How do you know yourself?
So can I ask you the question, who are you, Father Chris?
Yeah, I don't know. I know, if I say I know fully who am I, then of course I'm complete in the sense of, but I'm in the process of finding out. So this is a question that I hold very much in my own heart. So, so when you completely acknowledge and accept yourself, then of course you can say something. Who am I? Because this is a this is a spiritual practice that Ramana Maharshi suggested to all those who come to him. He said, ask the question, who am I? Who is this?
Are there any finding till now about this question for you?
Yes, I mean, it's sort of, for me now, it's sort of opened up quite a bit for me to be able to accept people, That is also part of accepting myself. There is an acceptance of myself. Therefore, I'm able to accept other people. So the fact that I don't blame anyone or, but it's a question of being able to open to everyone, and even to conflicts, in the sense of not blaming someone or blaming yourself. That's a sign that you can really you're on the path of knowing yourself. So that is not something that we have all achieved, but we are always practicing it.
I think for today, I'm quite I feel quite abundant till now, and there are something I need to sit down and really feel it, sense it. Especially the last question. Can we just stop here for today? And
Sure.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah, and I don't think I can take more inside. I cannot take more. Yeah. And thank you for your time and all your
Thank
sharing.
you very much. Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you, Father. I will
Okay,